Hello, and welcome back to the Budget Knitter podcast channel. My name is Spargur. I am your host, but for Chip and Aaron of the Fiber Hustle podcast, I am Carrots. And you'll have to go to their channel to figure out why they call me that. But if you haven't been to my channel before, thank you and welcome. I'm very excited to have you here. If you are a returning subscriber or a viewer, thank you so much for returning. So I am back. I was on vacation and I spent a little bit of time away from my yarn stash, and I just went back to Kentucky to spend with my family, and I had a really great time. And you're gonna see some of the let's say acquisitions from this trip coming up in the podcast. But I am coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, where I live with my 2 dogs and my husband. And today, I think, is episode 18, which is huge for me. Doesn't really mean anything, like it has no significance, but it's big. It's May. We are finally in May. The Derby is the Kentucky Derby. I think it's this weekend. First Saturday in May? Yeah, I think it's this weekend. Anyway. So, a lot of exciting things. Also, tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo, so if you celebrate Cinco de Mayo, I hope you have a wonderful celebration. I personally don't really celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I actually have to work, so have a beer for me or something. Whatever you do. You can find me on Ravelry as WSpargurKnits. You can find me on Twitter as WSpargurKnits. Instagram as WillMSU. There's a Facebook group for this page, which is facebook.com/thebudgetknitter. And then there's also a Ravelry group for this podcast. Just search the Budget Knitter Podcast. In the Budget Knitter Podcast group, we have a couple of threads that I want to remind you about. We have the Finished Objects of 2018 thread, where we are celebrating the finished objects that you complete between January 1st and December 31st of this year. There's no giveaway or anything associated with that. I just want to celebrate the crafting and the completion of those. I think it's a really great thing to come together and just congratulate everybody on a job well done. So if you finish a project and you have it in Ravelry, you can post your pictures in there and talk a little bit about it. If you want to talk about the yarn or why you knit it or who you knit it for, go ahead and share those things. I like to pop in there and just look at all of the beautiful projects. There's been some socks, some sweaters, some hats, a lot of really cool things going on. And it can be knitting, crochet, whatever crafting you do, if it's weaving, spinning, any of those, you're more than welcome to post in those threads. I'm going to take these off because they're dirty and I don't have my cleaning cloth. Another thread that we have going, we have 2 for the flax knit along that we're doing on this channel, and I promise I'm going to get the next update to you soon. I did not realize how long it takes to knit just 1 inch on that thing, so I'm working on it. But we have the flax chatter thread, and then we also have the flax finished objects. So if you have finished a flax sweater, you can post it in the finished objects. There is a giveaway with that thread. The chatter thread is just talk about your progress, show where you are, what yarn you're using. If you have any questions, you can ask those there to the community of people who are doing the knit along. I know several of you have already finished your sweaters, which is awesome. I mean, I know I'm on my 2nd one, but I feel like this is taking forever. Anyway, there's 2 other threads. There is the questions, comments, and concerns. So if you have anything that you do like, don't like about my podcast, anything, whoops, my bad, anything that you think I should improve on or anything that you think I should continue doing, you can post those in that thread. The other one is questions for the budget knitter. It's set up because I would like to do more question and answer type videos, so you can go in there and you can ask me any kind of question that you would like to ask, and then you have to answer the same question you ask me though. So if you don't want to answer a personal question, don't ask a personal question. But if you don't mind, something as simple as what's your favorite type of yarn, anything like that, or I think somebody asked me if anybody else in my family knits. So, you can post your questions in there, and I will do another video probably within the next couple of months. I'm going to pick that up. Hehe. Oops. Ah, shoot. This is really Did I drop 2? Oh, no. Oh, there's another one on that. Just stuff that back in there. Okay. So, let's keep trucking along. I have so much to show you today. I don't think this is going to take a while. You can't see it. There is a full-sized suitcase at my feet full of yarn. and we're going to get to that. But I also have a bunch of stuff over here. So let's jump right into the rest of the podcast. It is so hot in here. I've had the air conditioner on and fans, and it is just so ridiculously hot. Okay, first of all, what am I drinking? I today am drinking it's called Witching Hour. It's the brand name, and it is a red blend wine. It is very good. I like it because it's not too sweet. A lot of red blends tend to be really, really sweet. This isn't too sweet. And not that I don't like sweet wines, it's just this one is kind of where I expect a red wine to be. So I really like it. So that's Witching Hour, just the red blend. It's really good. I really like the label. So I'm having that tonight because it is Friday and I just want to chill. So from there, what am I up to? I forgot what I wrote down that I was doing. Oh, it would help if I'm on the right show notes. This is going so well today. Okay. So, on Wednesday night, I had a choir concert with the semi-pro choir that I'm a part of, and it went really well. We paired it with, our director's also a high school choir director, so we kind of did a joint concert with his choir, with his high school choir. It went really well. It was a lot of fun. I will post a link. I did a duet. I did Agony from Into the Woods with another member of the choir. It was a lot of fun to do. I haven't done musical theater in a really long time, so I'm surprised that I still have a little bit of theater in me. But I'll post a link in the video description box below if you want to go and watch that. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but, you know, it was fun. It was a lot of fun to do. And if musical theater is something you enjoy, then you can pop over and look at that. Other than that, just figuring out some next steps in my life. I met with my HR, some members of HR, and some people through our employee assistance program to kind of figure out some career counseling, trying to figure out what my next steps are in terms of where I am and where I want to go. Interestingly enough, we kind of came to the conclusion that my work-life balance is actually pretty nice. I mean, in terms of pay, it could be better, but I'm comfortable right now. You know, I'm able to do what I need to do, and I don't struggle too much. So when we were kind of looking at what I was looking for and what my needs were, we kind of decided that I needed to focus more on the life side of things than the work side of things. And I was feeling kind of lost thinking about where I wanted to go because I have no idea. And we kind of figured out that I'm adding stress where I don't need it, because right now where I am, I don't need a better job. My needs are not such that I need to be thinking about succession. I kind of just need to settle in where I am and then allow life to kind of carry me where it needs to go before I make any huge career decisions. And I think when we kind of sat down and figured that out and talked it out, I actually was more okay with that than I thought I would be, and then I did realize that there was just so much added stress. And now that I know that I just show up to work, I do what I need to do, and work fits in with my life exactly the way I really have wanted it to for a long time, such a weight kind of just fell off, and I was able to kind of relax and just do what needed to be done. And now I'm kind of thinking about what I do when I leave the office. And I think that's a really exciting step for me because I've felt kind of stuck for a while. So just figuring out my next steps. I have no clear idea, but I do have some resources that I'm going to check out and think about accessing to decide kind of what direction I might want to go. So that's what's going on in my life right now. We are going to truck right along because, again, I said I had a lot, and I do have a lot. So while I was on vacation, I did work on a few projects, and I didn't finish anything while on vacation, but I did kind of start a few things and worked on a few things. I'm not going to show all of them because some of them I didn't get a whole lot of progress done with, but I will show some of the more significant ones. One that I actually started yesterday, somebody gifted me the architecture pattern, that scarf pattern that a lot of people have knitted, and it's really popular. I'm so sorry, I forgot who gifted that pattern to me, so thank you to whoever that was. I'm so sorry that I cannot remember your name right now, and I don't have anything near me to look it up, but thank you so much. I actually did start knitting it. It's a little sad right now, but I have done the garter rows at the beginning. I am actually about to start the very first section of this, which is the bias seed stitch. And I'm doing this in kind of a fun neutral tonal gray color. This is going to be for my friend Jeff, who is actually the person I sang the duet with for this concert. He bought this yarn for me a while ago. I think I actually showed it in a podcast, but he bought it for me a while ago and said he wanted something knit out of it, and I didn't really have an idea of what to make for him out of that yarn, because he did actually buy me a significant amount of it. And then somebody gifted me this pattern, and I showed the pictures of the pattern to Jeff, and he was like, oh, I love that. I would love to have that scarf. So I started that yesterday, and I actually do intend to do a little bit more work on it, so hopefully in a couple of weeks you'll see significant progress. Let me see. That yarn is here somewhere. This is the most precarious shelf. I'm afraid to pull anything off of it. Okay, so this is called Milk Cotton. It is 100% acrylic. This actually came from, because I was looking for it, it comes from that Wish app. It's a phone app. I think I've showed that before as well. It was $1 for like 4 or 5 of these 100 gram or 50 gram skeins. So, yeah. He bought me several of these, and this is what I'm going to use to knit his scarf. I'm a little worried. I think I only have 4 of these, but there might be 5. I'm a little worried it's not going to be enough to knit the whole thing, but I'm confident, because this is a lot. For 50 grams, this feels like a lot. So 50 grams is probably equal close to 180, maybe 200 yards, because this is fingering weight. And I need 800 for the small size, so if I have 5, well, I think I have 5 hiding in here. No! Shoot. Hold on. We're having technical difficulties. Oh, shoot. If you can't tell, I don't knit out of the stash very often. Oh, shoot. No. Okay. I think... You know what? I'm going to film a stash video soon on DK weight anyway, so that's all coming off in, like, the next month or so. Oh no, it's literally all gonna fall off. It's fine. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, so I think I have enough, and it'll turn out great. I think it's gonna be really beautiful. I love the grays, whites, and kind of dark grays that are in it. I think it might hide the pattern a little bit, but I think it'll be a nice masculine touch for him. I know that he's really going to enjoy it. He definitely loved the pattern when he saw pictures of it, so I think he's really going to enjoy what comes out of that. The next thing I have is... I have a couple things in here. Wait. Oh, this was in that bag. Not knitting related. I was at Hot Topic, and if you've ever watched Saturday Night Live, my favorite character is Stefan. And they have a pop of Stefan, and I had to buy him. I had to buy him. He was so cute. Stefan is probably my favorite SNL character. Anyway, that was in that bag. It just fell out. Oh, okay. So, put this down here. This is continued work on my Boneyard shawl. Oh, this is... Oh, shoot. It's getting so long, I'm having trouble kind of keeping it all together. Where can I do... Well, it's hard to see because the cord is now too short. But, here's what we got going. This is out of Cuddly Cotton. I don't remember the colorway. I don't think it had a colorway name. Did it have a colorway name? No, it's just color 105. Yeah, Cuddly Cotton, colorway 105. So that's how this is going. I love it. It's lightweight, it's breathable, and this is just, I mean, it does, every right side row adds 4 stitches, but it's a beautiful pattern. It's knitting up so beautifully, and it's, well, other than the fact that it shows all of my tension issues, because cotton doesn't hide anything. Other than that, this is, I'm enjoying this. It's a nice, comfortable, easy knit, and I look forward. I'm on my second skein. I tied it in maybe 4 rows in, 6 rows back, I think about, is how many I've done with this second ball. So it's going well. I'm enjoying it, and the great thing is the wider it gets, the faster the yarn will be used up. And I have 2, oh my gosh, do I actually have 3 more skeins of this? How many? 1, 2, oh, no. I have 2. That other yarn is not, that's wool, not cotton. Okay, so yeah, I've got 2 more skeins of this, and I think it only calls for 654 yards, at least the pattern does, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use all 4, which will be close to 800, and I think I will do the pattern as it's instructed for the first 3 skeins, and then the last skein I'll do it calls for garter ridging on the last bit, so I think I'll just use 1 skein to do all of the garter ridging, and that'll be that. So yeah, this is going well. I love it. I'm really excited for it to be done. This is DK weight yarn, and this is on US 9s. This is a 40-inch circular needle, I think, or a 40-inch cord. So that's what I'm using. This is also a free pattern. It's a Stephen West pattern, and it's free. So it's on Ravelry. You should pick it up. It's a great first shawl if you've never knit one. So I really encourage you to pick that up. There's also like a million other things in this bag. Oh, I found headphones. Oh, and I'm gonna need that for later, actually. Look, I'm discovering new things because I forgot what's in here. Oh, I need that too. Okay, I think that's everything I need from that. Okay, third thing. Sorry, so the camera is perched on my bed and I'm throwing things on my bed, so if the camera's shaking, it's because I'm not considerate of the fact that there's the camera on my bed. Not those. Okay, so the third thing I have going... What is that? Oh. Something else I bought. Okay. I have... Shoot. How does this keep happening? What is actually attached to this and what isn't? Okay. I need to fix that then. Okay. This is yet another pair of socks. I started this on Magic Loop. I wanted to try the sock toe cast-ons. And I didn't want to do a provisional again. So I decided to do a Magic Loop cast-on to see if that would work. I did Magic Loop up until about here, and Magic Loop is really slow for me. I can do it, I'm successful at it, but I found that because you only knit 1/2 the stitches at a time, then you have to pull a needle through and switch and blah blah blah. It was taking twice as long, and I hated that. So I switched back to my 9-inch circular. But I love Magic Loop for the toe, because you can do increases instead of doing a short row toe, and you can start with like the Turkish cast on or Judy's Magic cast on, I think. I don't know, I didn't try that one. I couldn't remember how to do it and I was on the plane. But, so I did Turkish cast on, and then I just did increases. I started with 12, or I guess 24, but 12, and then went up to 64, which is my usual sock formula number of stitches. These are actually for my sister. These are Peyton's Croy FX, but they have elastic in them. Like, they've got a lot of elastic in them. She picked this yarn. She brought it to me. She said, hey, can you make me socks out of this? I said yes. So this is what I'm working on. She actually needs to let me know what her foot size is so that I know how long to knit this, because clearly my sister and I are not going to have the same size foot. If we did, either I have really tiny feet or she has really big feet, which, I don't know, maybe she does. I haven't seen her feet in a really long time. Is that weird? Anyway, I'm knitting those. This, I have 2 different balls. One was actually only 44 grams, so I started with the smaller ball first, so that I don't end up trying to knit the smaller ball and end up with a shorter sock. So the second ball will probably end up with significantly more yarn left on it than the first sock. So, because here's the second one. I went ahead and wound it up because I didn't know how far I'd get while I was on vacation. But I did, okay, so what happened was I bought a Knitter's Pride US2 32-inch circular needle. And the cord had such a memory to it that I couldn't, it just was driving me nuts. So I tried to heat it up so that I could, or tried to loosen it up by like boiling some water and putting the cord in there and letting it relax. Well, even then, it still held on to so much of the memory from being in the package that it was just a nightmare to knit with. So while I was on vacation, I bought a set of Addies, and I have relaxed this cord a little bit. I think it just needs to be knit on a little more. But this was a little bit more friendly to work with, but I still wasn't excited about it. The problem is nobody in Kentucky sells Chow Goose, which is what I really wanted to pick up, but I ended up sticking with Addies because I just didn't really have anything else. And then with what I had in there, these are those Addie Flexi Flips. My friend Angel, hi Angel, is letting me borrow these to see if I like them because she has 2 sets. My local yarn store is out of the US2s, which is what these are, because these US2s are my preferred sock knitting needles, which is what I would probably use these for. And so she's letting me borrow these to kind of see if I like working with them, and then if I do, she said I could buy them from her, or, you know, I'm perfectly happy ordering them on my own. The thing is, they're $25 a set, so that's why she's letting me borrow these, because oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I definitely need to see if these are worth the investment before I put in the money. But I will let you know how this goes. It's probably going to be a little bit before I get to try them. I think I'm gonna knit the foot of this sock and then the heel, and then I'm gonna switch to these and see how they work on the cuff and if I like them or not, and then we'll just see how it goes. So I will fill you in a couple of weeks on how that goes. Oh, that's all my works in progress. So, finished objects. I have one, and I did post it on my Instagram and my Ravelry. I have crocheted a baby blanket. It is tied up right now. I'm not going to open it. I will insert a picture here. And that's what it looks like. I really like kind of the stripe. I had so much of this Bernat blanket yarn. Some of it's actual baby yarn, some of it's just blanket yarn. But I had so much of it from donations. Thank you, Angel, again. So I wanted to kind of use as many of those as possible. I didn't know the baby's gender. Personally, I don't think the person I'm gifting this to, I don't think she knows the gender. I think she wanted that to be a surprise. I don't think she really cares. She's just going to be happy either way. Actually, right now, I think she's just going to be happy to get it out of her. She's literally due to pop any minute. I think I asked her at work, I was like, when are you due? She said, yesterday. And so there's that. So yeah, no, I'm keeping it tied up because I'm going to gift it to her on Monday. Actually, I work tomorrow, so I might just leave it on her desk and surprise her. But yeah, so no, I finished this. This was 60 stitches, 60 stitches across, and then I did 12 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows, 5 rows, 12 rows in colors, and then I did 1 double crochet border row. But on the 2 ends I did single crochet because I kind of wanted to keep everything together. It made sense in my head. So it didn't take me very long. I think it took me maybe 4 days doing a couple of rows here or there. So yeah, no, that's my one finished object since the last time y'all saw me. Yeah, like I said, I didn't get a whole lot done in terms of projects. I just got a lot of progress done on bigger things. So actually, to me, that's just as exciting. Okay, now, I have fallen down the rabbit hole. I told y'all I wasn't going to buy any more yarn. Granted, I didn't buy the yarn that's in this suitcase, but I did buy a lot of yarn on vacation. Actually, well, I bought a lot of different things, and my grandmother bought some of it. So without further ado, I will show you that. Okay, It's this bag. Well, I also got some other things. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to grab. Actually, two things while I'm thinking about it. Here they are. Okay. Put that down there. Alright, let's start with, let's do the yarn. Everybody cares more about the yarn than anything else. Including me, that's a receipt. Okay. I'm missing something. Where? I'll find it in a minute. Okay, so first things first. These are not going to go in order of store. I will tell you about the store when I reach the yarn. So what I have in here first, this is Heritage Sock Yarn. This is just purple. I don't even know if it has a colorway name. Nope, just color 5685. It's a solid purple sock weight. This is 75% merino superwash and 25% nylon. Where is the yardage? I don't think it's giving it. Oh, here it is. It is 100 grams, 437 yards. This is absolutely gorgeous. And to go with it, I actually ended up getting 4 skeins of bare sock yarn. It's the exact same yarn, just undyed. And I got a great deal on it. $5.50 a skein, because the woman forgot to change it back from a sale she had and left it advertised at half off and gave me that price, even though it didn't ring up at that price. So I got 5 skeins of this Cascade Heritage sock yarn for $5.50 a piece, and 4 of them are bare. So I am going to be dyeing 4 things of Cascade yarn, because personally, like, I know a lot of people like to knit with natural yarns. They kind of use it as a neutral color, and that's totally fine. But I'm not going to keep it that way. I'm going to dye it because I want to dye it. 2 of them are actually already in my dye stash. I just kept those 2 because I wanted to show you. Did I get anything else from that store? I don't think I did. I think I just got that yarn. Okay. What else is in here? Let's go with this. So this is called Sarah Dyed. It is in, I guess the colorway is Gourd, and it is 30% C-Cell, S-E-A-C-E-L-L, and it's 70% superwash merino wool. It is 100 grams, 330 yards. This is gorgeous. It says U.S. needle size 3 to 5, so maybe this is a sport weight. I definitely don't, I think it's too thick to be fingering, so I think it's sport weight. It's kind of in there. It might be sock weight. Is there a difference? There's so many things that mean the same thing, and I still haven't picked up on it. Anyway, gorgeous colorway. It's a beautiful fall. Maybe it's self-striping. I have no idea. I will find out. It was on clearance. I got it for 17 bucks, and it was the only one left, so I definitely picked that up. But at the same store, that's where I picked up my Addy Turbo Rocket needles for my socks. I think that was there. Oh, no. Okay, so because, so that store was Rebelle, R-E-B-E-L-L-E, in Lexington, Kentucky. And that store, if you bought fingering weight yarn on local yarn store day, which is when I was shopping on Saturday, April 21st, for local yarn store day, if you bought something there, Plymouth Yarn Company gave me a code to get any one of their patterns for free on Ravelry. So they listed the patterns that I can choose from and the code to use when I want to get one. So I just pick one that I want and put in that code, and I get it for free because I bought fingering weight yarn on that day. If I go to Noro, I can use another coupon code, and I can get one free pattern. Except I cannot get indie designs, but I can get anything else from knittingfever.com. With Juniper Moon, I can use a coupon code and get a free Juniper Moon pattern on Ravelry. And then, because I bought this fingering weight yarn, Laura Nelkin had a pattern that was available for free from the store specifically. So the store had worked this out with her, I guess. And so if I bought a fingering weight yarn, I got this pattern for free. And that pattern is called the Adventura, or Adventura. And what I love about this pattern is that there are 3 different ways that you can knit it. There's a neutral section, which is all stockinette, and then for the second section, you can either choose stockinette, an open fishnet lace, or a pine cone lace, whichever, like it's kind of beginning, intermediate, and advanced, kind of depending on which one you want to knit. So it has all 3 included in the one pattern, and you can kind of choose. So I'm going to knit this, but I'm trying to decide what yarn to use, because the yarn I have, you're supposed to have 2 skeins of a neutral color and 2 skeins of a color, and I have 2 skeins of colors, but I don't really have 2 skeins of neutrals. Sorry, my dryer went off again. I have these. I could probably use this, maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to kind of go through my stash and see what I want to use. But I definitely am going to knit this. I would show you more of it, but it is a paid pattern on Ravelry, so I'm not going to show more than... And unfortunately, it's in black and white, but I'll show you that because I want to respect the designer. Let me put that back. Oh, shoot. Okay, I think that's that. What else? What else? Did I get anything? No. I think that's everything I got from there. So the next store I went to was actually the first store I went to on local yarn store day, and that was Magpie Yarns in Lexington, Kentucky. By the way, all of the stores I went to are absolutely beautiful. So the store, Magpie Yarns, is this beautiful little place. Everything's organized by color and by weight, so it was a beautifully organized shop. But in celebration of local yarn store day, she had 8 bins of yarn that was 75% off. And so I got 2 skeins of yarn that were originally $27 each, and I got them for like $6.50 a skein. And the 2 I picked were by Miss Crosby, and so I got this kind of purple and this kind of chestnut brown. This is called Roasted Chestnuts, and this one's called Hollywood Cerise? C-E-R-I-S-E. I don't know, I've never seen that word before. Anyway, I got those beautiful, beautiful yarns, fingering weight yarns. I love these, super squishy. Let's see, what's the deal with these? They're both 75% superwash merino, 15% silk, 10% cashmere. Really, really great yarns. They feel so great. So I'm really excited that I was able to pick these up for such a great price. But while I was at that store, one of the other things I picked up was this project bag that said, if I can't take my yarn, I'm not going. I thought it was so cute, and this was 50% off, so definitely had to pick that up as well. Absolutely so excited about that purchase. Let's see. Okay, so everything else is from the last store. This store was called Fiber and Friends in LaGrange, Kentucky. And so the funny thing about this store is on Main Street, and Main Street in LaGrange, and to get there you can park on either side of Main Street. But the parking, you have to make sure that you're pulled all the way up. LaGrange, Kentucky has a railroad that runs right down the center of Main Street. Actually, I will go ahead and insert a clip of that right here. As you can see, the train right down Main Street, and it was really long. I think it took like 15 minutes to clear the city. And I mean, it's a very, very small town, but it took a really long time to clear. And they said it happens anywhere from 1 to 3 times a day. It's such a common occurrence that they actually have an observation tower to where you can watch it from up above. So I thought that was really cool, and I really enjoyed, because I'm also a person who loves trains, so to be in a yarn store watching a train go by on the street, like, I could, if I wanted to, I could walk up and touch it. That's how close it is. It was such a fantastic experience. One other thing that I really loved about the store was that they do have their own alpaca yarn that is sourced from LaGrange and spun there as well. And on the ball band, it has a picture and the name of the alpaca that the wool came from. And they said that people get attached to a certain alpaca, and when they come in, they're like, oh, I want Jerry's wool. And it's so cute. It was adorable, and my grandmother went with me to that store. My grandmother and my grandfather went with me to that store, and she fell in love with it. She didn't buy any, but she definitely fell in love with it, and she hasn't knitted in a while, and I know she misses it. I could tell when we got in the store and she started to feel the yarns that she was definitely missing doing some of the crafting. So I'm glad that I got to share that experience with her, because she's the only other person in my family that does anything or did anything with the fiber arts. And so when I really started learning to knit in college, she was the only person I could go to, and she really did help me as much as she could. I think I surpassed her in skill relatively quickly, but I was really determined to learn new things. But she was one of the first people who kind of really nurtured my interest in this. So the fact that we got to go to a local yarn store together and just browse yarns and stitch markers and all of these really cool things, it was a really great experience, and I'm really glad that I got to share that with her. And because we were there, we saw this beautiful pull over, like when you wear a bathing suit and then you like put a thing over it it's not really clothing, it's just something you're wearing so that you're not just wearing a bathing suit. It was something like that, very similar to that was on display, and they let her try it on, and she loved it. And they actually still had just enough yarn left to knit another one. She loved it so much. This is Fibra Natura Denims. It is wool and cotton, I believe. 70% cotton, 30% wool. And it's a ribbon yarn. And it actually came with the pattern that they had knit for free, which is here. It's just called the Easy Summer Top. I don't know if this is on Ravelry. This is not, the picture on here it's really grainy and it's kind of hard to see. You don't really get a good idea of what it looks like. But essentially you knit two of these pieces, and then you can either stitch them together like whip stitch or mattress stitch. But the lady who actually knit the pattern for the display single crocheted the two pieces together. So, excuse me, so I think actually I'm going to do that. But I had to buy needles for it, so when I got back into Las Vegas, went to my local yarn store and I bought some US 11s. I have just about every other size of needle tips except US 11s, and unfortunately I love the platinas, but she didn't have the platinas that weren't cubics. I don't like the cubics. So I got these marbles, which are acrylics, and I think these are going to work out just fine. But I am going to start knitting this. Grandmommy, I know you're probably watching, so I will start this very soon. I have a lot to sort through. But one of the other things I got was some clearance yarns. This is called Kismet, and I got kind of a neutral and a blue. And these are 54% alpaca, 46% nylon. They are 250 yards per thing, which I think these are 50 grams, so 250 yards for 50 grams. This is gorgeous. I love it. I think I'm gonna try and knit a shawl out of this if I can find a smaller shawl to do this with. A little more detail about the denims. So again, it's 70% cotton, 30% wool. It's 109 yards per skein, and it's a number 5. It's a bulky weight. They recommend a US size 10.5. I'm going to use US 11s. But yeah, so I got 6. She bought me 6 of these so I could knit that pattern for her, which I guess means I can only use 3 per piece. I hope I read this pattern right. 540 yards. So I bought 6, which should be 600 and some. Okay. It should work. I hope. Anyway, I have that. But what I also got this project bag, which has a knitting unicorn on it. I'm so excited about this. I love this. Yeah. And then, what else? Oh, I got these cute little scissors in a sheath. They were so cute. I just had to have them. They were like $10. I think somebody handcrafts these. But, stainless rabbit scissors from Friends and Fiber. So cute. Had to get them. I was tired of carrying around big scissors. What else? There was something else I got. I've thrown some stuff down. Oh! Here we go. Okay. So Friends and Fiber, their business card comes with a little yarn needle, a little plastic yarn needle, and they had an assortment of colors, but that was so cute, I had to have one. So I got that business card. I got a couple of other business cards from the other stores I visited. But Friends and Fiber also had this postcard with some pictures from inside their store. But then on the back, it has, what's on here? The standard abbreviations for stitches. It has the Kitchener stitch instructions, and it has instructions for German short rows. So this was a really handy cheat sheet to have, and I definitely had to pick that up while I was there, because I'm always forgetting how to do Kitchener. There was one other thing, but I can't find it. I don't know where I put it. It was a little sample of Euclid wool wash, and I've never used it before, and I really wanted it, but I can't find where I put it. I thought it was down here with everything else, but... Ah! Wait. Here it is. There it is. Little sample of Euclid wool wash. I've never used it, so this will be interesting. I'm really excited about using this. I guess I'll use it on the next thing that I block. But yeah, so that is my yarn haul from vacation, and as you can see, I fell down the rabbit hole really hard. So, oh goodness. So while I'm putting this back, I actually didn't have anything to follow that. I'm just gonna put it back. Okay, hold on. I gotta clear some space. There's a lot of... I need some room back. Oh, I'm gonna put that somewhere. Okay. That goes in here. Alright. I think we're sort of caught up. Oh no, those are my glasses. Okay. So, let's move on to Suitcase Stash. I'm a little terrified to do this because I don't really have a whole lot of room. This calls for wine. So sorry, got a phone call. Okay, so I guess I need more wine. Let's do this Suitcase Stash. I'm probably going to move through this relatively quickly. I will tell you that I think 99% of this is acrylic. And a lot of it is brands you've probably heard of, just older. And there's actually duplicates of a lot of these. So, I'm going to try to do this in a way that makes a little bit of sense while also not making a mess. Okay. Let's pick the first thing on top. This is Loops and Threads Flamenco, which is kind of like sachet yarn, I guess. It pulls apart to reveal this, like, lacy stuff. This is not working. Come on, give me a good example. Well, it pulls apart to reveal kind of some lacy stuff, and then it's got these little baubles on the end. I'm assuming this is going to be a scarf, because I really don't think there's a whole lot else to do with it. So I think I have two. Yeah, there's 2 of those. Next thing. This ball of what appears to be a DK weight purple yarn that has come uncaked, which will probably be a project here very soon. And by project I mean recaking it or hanking it and not knitting it. Next. Knitting worsted type. Sayel Orlon acrylic fiber from Kmart. in the color Cornflower. It was $1.57. This is old. Oh my gosh, this is old. I have no idea. I have no idea. This is before Kmart and Sears were the same thing. So, wow. Please note, Sayel must be absolutely dry to ensure automatic blocking. If stretched during wear or washing, wet thoroughly, squeeze, and tumble dry in-home or coin-operated dryer to reshape. Do not stretch sweater or hang it to dry. Wow, this is acrylic yarn and you still have to hand wash and dry it. Huh. Interesting. Okay. 2 skeins of what I believe is some old Caron Simply Soft. Navy blue. This mess. I'm knitting a pillow. That might become stuffing. What appears to be... Well, it's not homespun. Maybe it is homespun. I don't know what this is. I don't know. It's small. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, what is this? This is Caron Rug and Craft Yarn. 3-ply. Wow. This holds its really crumpled shape. What is this? Oh my goodness. It just says light yellow. 100% Dacron polyester. It was $3 for $1. Wow. Okay, so this is probably the first time I'm really looking at some of this. Oh, I know what this is. This is Loops and Threads Wool-like. It just doesn't have the ball band anymore. I would know that anywhere. White. Okay, so there's a lot of Caron Simply Soft in here that's old. Looks like there's 5 of this one, which is red, just red. It says red 3.0. These don't have nearly the same amount of yarn that Caron Simply Soft has now. Here's 2 different blacks. Pinks, this is Red Heart Classic. Something black and sparkly. Whew. Okay, I have no idea what this mess is. It's a blob. It's just a blob of red. Red Heart Super Saver in pink. More of that Sayel, but in white. Windtuck yarn. I guess Orlin was the material back then. Windtuck. By the way, if you know information about any of these, let me know, because I don't know what a lot of these are. I've never heard of them. Caron Simply Soft. This is Autumn Red. I think a lot of these have changed recently. Oh, this is 315 yards. That's the same as they have now. See, these are old. These are just old. Too bad they don't put a date on them. It'd be really cool if they had a date. More Red Heart in assorted colors. Then I've got a bunch of this Red Heart Super Saver. I actually kind of like that Tweety look. I don't know. That might actually be something I use. Okay, so a lot of what's left here in the bottom is baby yarns. I have a lot of baby yarns. And I think I've only got 2 or 3 different colors. But I've got some big ones, like this. This is huge, 615 yards, and it's a number 5. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, so, essentially what this comes down to is I have a lot of yarn. I'm kind of out of room to put it anywhere. So, I might put some of this up for sale, but I don't know yet. I kind of want to... There's a lot of people at work who are starting to request certain things, and I also kind of have this idea of doing a granny square a day, because I can do a granny square a day. Just do one a day, and then at the end of whatever, make blankets out of it, and maybe do some charity crocheting or knitting. And I'm thinking that's what I'm going to use this suitcase for. This suitcase of yarn is going to be charity or gift projects. There's a couple of things in here I kind of like this. I just don't know what it is or why it's in this tangled mess. And I don't know if there's more than one skein. Like, I guess it's just one. I don't know. So this might end up on my Swift and get hanked up just so I kind of know what I'm working with. But then, you know, like, I love Loops and Threads Wool. Like, it's a great acrylic fingering weight. Well, it's almost lace weight. Yarn to use. And actually, there's a couple more down in there as well. So I've got a couple of baby blankets I need to work on for some coworkers. So that's probably what's going to come of some of this. Like, this will probably become part of a baby blanket. I think I have 2 of those. No, I don't have 2 of them. But, yeah, so that's probably the direction I'm going with this. That is a lot. Now I gotta put it all back. Do I? No, I guess I don't have to put it all back yet. Okay, so before I decide to stuff all of that back in that suitcase, let me do some of my favorite things, because I want to end on a high note, because I'm feeling stressed now. Woo, okay, hold on. Okay, some favorite things. I really want to give a shout out to my coworkers. This week has been difficult. It's the week back from vacation. I was having like a career identity crisis. I kind of had a breakdown at work, a mental breakdown. Nobody saw the mental breakdown because I'm pretty aware of when I'm going to have one. And I tend to like to keep those private, so I was able to go somewhere else and have the time I needed and came back. But this week was very difficult, and I was able to share that with my coworkers and let them know, like, hey, I've been struggling, and I know you haven't seen it, but this is kind of what's going on. And today they let me unload for like 2 hours. They just let me talk and unload on them, and I really appreciate them for letting me do that, because they didn't have to. They absolutely did not have to do that. And the fact that they took their time and spent it listening to me and giving me advice, because several of my coworkers are, you know, they're my parents' age, so they have experience that I don't have, and I really welcomed their insight and their views and their experience to kind of help me in a time when I was very confused and very scared. So thank you to my coworkers. You are some of my favorite things. Second is a fun story. I was on my way back on the plane from Louisville to Las Vegas, and I always sit at the back of the plane. I go straight to the back row, and I either take the window seat or the aisle seat. This time I decided to take the aisle seat because if for some reason we were going to have a completely full flight and there wasn't going to be an open seat at all, I was going to have an aisle seat because I needed to be able to stretch my legs. So luckily I ended up having just my entire row to myself, which was great. But I sat in the aisle anyway. The guy on the other side of the aisle is probably one of the coolest people I've ever met in terms of talking with strangers on planes. I'm not going to share his name because I don't really think I have the permission to do so. But I do know that he holds a high position in a company that provides certain products for Disneyland and Disney World. It's a family business. They clear a lot of money a year, so he's a relatively powerful person, but he's incredibly down to earth. He was a great guy. We talked most of the flight. He was sharing with me his experiences and listening to me about mine, and we just had this beautiful conversation about how we can continue to better our lives. And I walked away from that flight a better person because I met him. And he shared so many beautiful experiences. And one of my favorite things, and he said he was going to end up watching this, so this may not be the part he thought I took away, but the part that I took away, at least a significant thing that I took away from meeting him, is that he has money, yes, but he never acts like he has money. He's flying Southwest at the back of the plane. And what he shared with me, because being the person I am, I'm like, well, if you have that, why are you flying Southwest? And it was kind of like his family used to drive breaking apart vehicles across country to have meetings with these corporations to provide their products. And he said the fact that they can even fly, the fact that they have the option to fly is more important than how they fly, where they fly, what seat they have. Just the fact that they can fly at all and that they can travel. And he's very, very thankful for what he has, and he knows, at least from what I gathered, he knows that what he has is not permanent, that it can go away at any moment. But they're also very philanthropic. They fund orphanages in multiple countries around the world. They do everything they can to provide better lives for people in need, and I think that that's absolutely beautiful. And it was just such a nice experience. I had such a negative view of people who had money. And this reminded me that there are good people in the world. There are amazing people who are just like you and me, who just want to do better things. And for some of us, that means that we sit at home and we crochet granny squares and sew them into blankets to give to children in need. And for some people, it means that they own corporations and they donate a significant portion of their profits to help people in need. There are different ways of helping people, and he reminded me that it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're doing it for the right people and for the right reasons. And that was just really inspirational, and I felt like I learned so much from him. So thank you to him, and if he's watching this, I thank you very much. I really appreciate the chat that we had, and I do hope that we meet up again in the future. So thank you. Favorite thing, I guess I can kind of rope this into, favorite thing is sometimes talking to strangers on airplanes. So, talking to strangers on airplanes, favorite thing. Third favorite thing, kind of menial, I love doing laundry. It's weird, but I love it. I don't know, I guess it's because I like clean, not like spotless. I'm okay with clutter, but I'm okay with organized clutter, but I don't know, there's something about knowing that clothes that were dirty have gone into the washer, into the dryer, and have been folded and hung up, and that they're clean. I don't know what it is, but I love clean laundry. I'm so weird. Anyway, not really a whole lot to that. I just like doing laundry. Favorite thing, doing laundry. Okay. So, before I go, there's just a couple of things that I'll remind you about. I did post a few videos. I had them scheduled to go up while I was on vacation, so if you haven't caught those, check them out. There is a tutorial-ish thing about minute scarves. There is a yarn review, and there is part 2 to my stash. So if you haven't caught those, you can head over to my channel and check those out, and you, of course, can leave me comments. The second yarn review that I did that was posted was about Caron Cakes. So if you haven't used Caron Cakes and want to know more about it, head over there. That review is going to be very helpful to you. And if you just like looking at yarn, the stash video is for you. And if you want a quick and simple project that is great for just about anybody and it gets rid of a lot of those novelty yarns that you have no idea what to do with, like, oh shoot, like this junk, then the Minute Scarf video is for you, and I think you're really going to like it. So, that's all I have for you today. I told you it was a lot, so I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed showing it to you, because I know that I don't always have this much to show you. So, I'm going to go. I have a few things I'm going to work on. For those of you who are waiting for me to send things in the mail, they're in a bag right there. I'm going to the post office tomorrow to put them in the mail. And you should be receiving a tracking number within the next few days if you're catching this when it gets posted. So be checking your email for that. Gail, your yarn is also going to be in the mail. Bente, we're going to see what the post office charges me to ship to you in Norway. We're going to see, because they may actually have me... They're in priority mail envelopes, which means you should get it 2 days once it actually gets into the sorting process. But for you, Bente, I don't know if they're going to let me do priority mail or if I have to do first class. So, also, I sent you a message. Do you have a zip code? Send me a zip code. I need a zip code. I think if you don't have one, then I don't need one. But if you do have one, I need it, because you didn't send it the first time. Anyway, so for those of you who are waiting on yarn from me, it's coming. For those of you who have been waiting for a long time, I did include a gift skein of yarn from my stash for being so patient. I finally have all of the funds needed. Shipping is expensive, y'all. Especially because 2 of you live in Canada. I didn't think about that. Shipping to Canada is like $30. Didn't know that. So, it's on the way. Don't worry, you're gonna get it, but I did include a gift skein for you. Also, in it, the stitch marker that you're supposed to be getting is inside a folded up taped piece of pink paper. So just take the tape off and unfold it, and the stitch marker is inside it. I just didn't want the stitch marker to get lost in transit, just in case the bag got torn or something. So, you should be expecting that very, very soon. So sorry that this has taken so long. Again, this was not my intention. I did not mean for it to have to take this long. I should have done some research on shipping first. But I'm happy to let you know that it is going in the mail. So don't fret. Now that I kind of know what's going to go on, I can plan my giveaways a little bit better. So more of those will be coming, and we will be doing a giveaway of Caron Cakes yarn sometime this month, so stay tuned for that. That is mainly because my Michaels store just put probably somewhere around 500 cakes of Caron Cakes on clearance. So I'm probably going to pick some of that up just so that I have some here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. That was a lot. So, I hope that you have a wonderful evening, wonderful day, wonderful week. Oh, one more thing. Tightly Spun, the podcast that I have talked about several times with Emily, the audio podcast. It's available on the podcast app on Apple. I don't really know what it is on Android, but you can also go to tightlyspun.com and you can check out the episodes there. I should be appearing sometime this month. My episode will be going up sometime this month. If you are not listening to that podcast, I encourage you to do so. It is a great podcast. It's a great way to learn more about our craft. It's a great way to meet new people because, you know, a lot of them also have social media, so you can go follow these people and say, hey, I heard your episode of Tightly Spun, and I really loved it, and I was wondering if you would tell me more about this. And so it's a really great way to meet other people in our community that from all around the country, and maybe even the world. I don't know if she's talked to anybody like outside of the US yet, but it's great. You should absolutely check it out. As soon as I know the exact date of mine, I will let you know. So yes, keep tuned to my Instagram or my Facebook page, either one, for that information. So thank you again for joining me. I think I've said that probably about 4 times now, but I mean it this time. Thank you, and I will see you again very, very soon with, I think I've got a needle review coming up, and a knit along update. So keep it in tune to this channel for those. If you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button because that is great for me. And if you want, I don't, but if you like to click the little bells, you always get a notification when I post new videos. You can do that as well. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like this video and you give it a thumbs down, I might cry a little. I'm kidding. No. But if you don't like this video, sorry, can't please everybody. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful night, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you again very, very soon here on the Budget Knitter Podcast channel. Mwah.